All right, man, we back again. Still at Tease Me, but back again with another interview from the Bless the Hustle Speaker interview series.
We're really putting the content on y'all. I want y'all to
understand. For sure. It's going crazy. This is going to be just
another one. Y'all get the content, man.
It's already a phenomenal experience, man. Again, we're going to start out with shout-outs. This is a week-by-week basis. Shout out to Murdoch, Side Hustle Economy holding us down. Shout out to Miss Darla for taking care of us at Tease Me Cafe.
I'll take us to a cloud here soon.
For sure. Cloud Chase is on the way.
Sounds crazy.
Cloud catcher just.
My bad. Cloud catcher, excuse me, not chaser. Cloud catcher, catching cloud.
So it doesn't matter if it's people or stuff.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Any kind of noun.
For sure. It goes down. I do
people,
remix.
Places, things.
There we go.
Yeah, remix Diddy with it. If we can, please give a round of applause for Recovery Ray for Balance Period, man.
Shout out to Recovery Ray.
Thank you.
Talking about generational wellness. I'm so excited, man. Because I feel like that's something that our community is missing to a certain extent. And you providing a solution for it. So we always start the pregame podcast interview with the pregame podcast pop quiz. I'm just going to ask you a flurry of questions. Do your best to answer them.
All right.
It's not that deep, but before you go, can you tell them where to find you on Instagram?
That's too.
Socials.
So a couple spaces at Balance Period for all things organization, right? And then personally at recovery.ray.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to go first again. So you came in here cool, calm, collected. You seem chill. How do you start your day? What is the first thing you do?
Yeah, the first thing I do to start my day, I give myself like a 5-minute buffer before I get out of bed, and I just check in with myself. I just like try to see how I'm feeling and to use that to help me with, okay, what am I now going to do when I get out of bed and start my day. So I kind of give myself a buffer before I actually get up and moving.
He's about to fix us today.
Let me ask you a question. Because I heard
out of here, better people.
Are you standing up doing this? Or are you you in the bed doing this?
Just laying down. So I wear a device that tracks my health and well-being, and it vibrates to wake me up. So I feel that before I hear an alarm. So between the device and the alarm is when I have that gap of time where I'm just checking in with myself.
Well, let me ask you this, because I was struggling with it. First of all,
this is about to be interesting.
I think you're in the Matrix.
Yeah,
Second of all, you don't fall back asleep. I will fall back asleep. If I get up and don't get my phone to move and be like, let me just.
Yes,
and then you
45 minutes.
And then you lean over and tell your wife, I'm buffering.
I'm buffering right now. Like, leave me alone.
That's going to be crazy because I'm going to use
Actually,
that.
I like your
back asleep.
I'm buffering.
Let us know.
Right now.
Let me know how that goes.
Now, the buffer's only 5 minutes.
But that's all I
You
need.
fall
That's
back
all
in
I
5.
need.
Ray, we married, bro. 5 minutes.
That's all I need.
It's fine.
5
Well,
minutes.
yeah, I mean,
Can I stand up and buffer? Because if
You
I
play
lay
the
down, I might
PS5?
not.
You can.
I need to be able to stand up and buffer. I'm
Whatever
going
works
to go
for
back to
you.
sleep.
Whatever works for
If
you.
that-
Okay, cool.
You playing the game, I'm buffering.
I'm about to get comfortable for this interview.
Babe, I'm in a buffer right now. If you could just please not talk to me. It'd be great.
Tell them we doing the podcast, we buffering. Hey, man, it's going down, man. Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome. I love that.
Hey man, this is like off the cuff. But what gets you like excited? What gets you up off of your regular meter at this point?
This is actually kind of funny. Like when I find different efficiencies in my business, right? So like we create a lot of content, and it's funny because I share this with my girlfriend, and she don't get nearly as excited, and she's like, "Man, you more excited for this than like anything else that we ever talked about."
Yeah, like our time spent together.
Exactly. But I figured out a way to create a form that we're able to input our content in, so that when we search it, we kind of have a database of content that we can search based on like length, based on where it came from, so we can be more strategic about how we're putting out content. And when I figured out that I could do it from my phone, I was like, oh, this is dope. So that got me excited.
Pursuit of happiness.
Let's go.
Okay, so I've only known you
excited.
6.5 minutes. You seem to be very calculated in, how your day goes, what you do to put in your day. What do you do to just, I don't care right now, I'm just doing what I want to do. Like, I eat food. All right, you know what? Been trying to eat well. I'm getting a bucket of popcorn from the movies today. What do you do to really let loose?
Yeah.
Oh,
and actually,
the movie,
I
extra bucket.
just got a bucket of popcorn yesterday because I went to the movie. Saw House
'cause
Party.
it's
Don't know
fire.
if y'all seen it yet.
Is
I
it
plan
good?
on it.
I was.
I plan on it.
It was cool.
My brother said it was
It was cool. They definitely were trying to make the connections. It was a little tough because a lot of people. My girlfriend had never seen the first one, so I was kind of whispering over like,
This is the part where they dance.
exactly right. But it was cool. But for me, I like to just watch shows.
Okay.
So like here recently, I've been watching My Wife and Kids.
It's a great show.
Oh, you watch
Fire
OTV?
show,
Yeah,
man.
Friends, Martin, My Wife and Kids.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie, come on, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, I watch Bernie
All
Mac
of
every
them.
time it come on. It's funny every time.
So
It is.
TV,
Same
you know,
episodes.
just watching the show. Or
You
something.
strike me as a chuckler though, like not the all out laugh. Just See?
One of them, yeah. You'll hear that. sometime.
Guys, what you listening to, Ray? Like when you get in the car in the morning, what are you playing? What's the go-to track or the go-to audio podcast? What you listening to, man?
Yeah, so right now, I'm listening to BS from Drake and 21 Savage's album. That's like on BS, that song. I've been listening to that over and over again.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it's cool. And then other than that, like audiobooks and podcasts. So the audiobook I'm listening to right now is, I'm actually listening to several. One is by Dr. David Satcher, who used to be the Attorney General.
Okay.
And so he kind of is just talking about leadership as it relates to health equity, which is something that I'm passionate about. So I like to have a book that is in alignment with what I'm looking to develop. And then I listen to the Huberman Lab podcast, which he is a lecturer at the Harvard School of Medicine. And he is just he takes science and really simplifies it into ways that we can make it actionable. And that's right in alignment with the work that I do. So I listen to his show just to help me continue. Just learning.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
Better than me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this, the cocaine
Yeah,
rap.
the things I listen to, I can't actually do. I can't align with
I
what I
listen to
listen
people
to.
sell
It'd be bad
drugs
for
at
me.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, if I align with my
Every single
music,
day.
I wouldn't be here right now.
No, for sure.
Every day.
Yeah, I was listening to Finesse the P, and he was talking about things I've never done before.
What's the P in his name?
I don't know.
Okay.
Pimp.
The
Let's
song's
talk about
fire.
pimping.
I'm just making sure.
It's fire.
He on there disrespecting women, as he should not be, and I don't do that. But
You do in your car.
I mean, but
morning.
sometimes
Yeah.
the beat will get you though. Like if the
Yeah.
the beat will get you.
it's crazy. Is that it for the pregame podcast?
Yeah,
Pop
that's-
quiz?
I got mine in, yeah.
Hey man, round of applause for Recovery
yeah.
Ray from Balance Period. We about to listen. We about to learn. Now I'm excited now. So you presented something to me I've never heard before. I've heard about wellness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in school it's not called gym; it's called wellness now.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Where?
it's called wellness, man. No
P-E
gym class.
is
No?
what they still call it. Where I'm being.
Maybe at that level. But my level is wellness.
P-E.
And so and then you mentioned something, generational wellness.
It's catchy, for sure.
Recovery rate, what is generational wellness and what does that look like?
Yeah. So simplified, generational wellness is passing down healthy habits to the next generation,
And
right?
probably reducing trauma.
And that's a part of the healthy habit, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
when you're living a life where you're kind of pulling yourself out of that survival mode and you're truly thriving because your health and well-being is optimized, you're addressing trauma, right? You're understanding how you're operating emotionally and beginning to make shifts and adjustments to how you're going about caring for yourself to promote you not being as reactive in moments, right? Being more responsive and being more intentional with your actions. So generational wellness is you focusing on optimizing your health and well-being and then making that transition from generation to generation seamless by modeling the lifestyle that they can live as they are developing.
That's deep.
Hey, that's deep.
As people, as a culture, we are really good at handing down trauma.
Yeah.
I'm fucked up. You be fucked up too.
For sure.
And it's sad. It's true.
And the
I wouldn't
McDonald's-
shit. You ain't gonna be shit like.
And then McDonald's French fries.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can have some of that too.
Flame,
Taking
though.
them up and then passing them right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking your 2 out,
All
get
right,
back. Here
Here
you go.
you go.
These high. Be careful with these. You got. Oh, you eat that jet?
These fresh.
I might be too much of a one-track thinker though. So, what is it like, chicken or the egg for you as far as like physical or mental wellness? Like, which one do you feel like you have to attack before you can fix the other?
Yeah, and I think for me, it started with my physical first.
Okay.
So my background is in kinesiology. That's what I got my degree in. So I started out as a personal trainer out of college. And for me, a lot of it wasn't even centered around wellness as it relates to my physical health. It was more so just like what you see.
I like to look this way.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
that's what impacted my habits around exercise. But then it was after actually experiencing some health trauma that prompted me to start to think about, okay, my mental and emotional health, like that's a thing, and it's worth me investing into. So that's when I started to dive a little bit deeper internally. And then I realized after learning more that they're so connected and that if you're focusing on caring for yourself internally, naturally you'll see, well-being be expressed externally too, which is pretty cool once you kind of learn the connection between the two.
Wow. Can we talk about that moment? Are you comfortable talking about that
most
moment
definitely.
that led you to this led you to creating and starting to discuss the discourse around generational wellness?
Yeah, so it'll be a year, or not a year, it'll be 6 years this Thursday when it happened, right? So we're coming up on kind of like an anniversary for it. But I was 23 years old, and like I said, I was a personal trainer. I was experiencing some excruciating pain that at the time I thought were back spasms. I didn't know what else it could be, and after a day of excruciating pain, I woke up the next day and I coughed up blood.
Oh, damn.
And that was when I was like, well, this isn't back spasms. It's probably something a little bit more serious. So went to the emergency room, and yeah, they told me that I had a pulmonary embolism. So I had a blood clot in my lung. And when a blood clot's there, it has a couple options. If it dislodges, it can go to your brain and you could have a stroke, or it could go to your heart and you could have a heart attack. So I was like, who knows, I was close to death. And they found it in time, and from there it launched me on this journey of understanding, well, why did this happen, right? Like, why did it happen? And they're running all these tests, and all the doctor could say was, it runs in your family. Like, we can't tell you exactly why. It's hereditary.
Damn.
And then they told me to expect to be on blood thinner medication forever.
Sorry, black man. Sent you on your way.
Exactly. Just here's a prescription. Go get it filled and take these every day, twice a day, right? And I was just
Where's your pharmacy? Okay.
Exactly. They put it in the system. And I was like, I don't want this to be my life. Like, I don't. And I know that I've been called for more than this. So let me go ahead and figure it out. And that's when I started to learn a little bit more about my personal, family history of it, learning what organ is impacted to, contribute to that happening, which is our liver, which I come from a family that tended to turn to alcohol a lot. So we would beat our liver down, and then it would, allow those blood clots and other things to happen, right? And so for me, I was just like, let me start to change my lifestyle. And that's when I started to make some adjustments, make some tiny tweaks. And after a year of doing that, I was just like, man, if I can do it, I know other people can do it too. So now it's time for me to start sharing the story. And that's what then led to the Balance Period podcast, which from there has now brought us to a point where we have this program to help people take action on improving their quality of life.
Yeah. Round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you
Black
vegan?
man going crazy.
Are you vegan?
I am not vegan. I went vegan probably for about 6 months.
It ain't fun, bro.
It wasn't cool.
It's not cool,
It's
man.
they probably have better options now.
Right.
It was probably back in like
they
20.
cutting up almonds and calling it ground beef.
It's actually walnut.
Whatever. I don't know what's going on.
I'm
sick of it.
Listen, it's some sick stuff going
There's a
on.
Bible tree going around.
I
too many
support
fat
vegans,
vegans in your
but
frying
y'all
the
on
lettuce.
some other stuff. Shout out to Tabitha Brown. I've been following her on Instagram.
She got some good
man.
stuff.
It's walnut taco, man.
That's my
It's
business.
actually not that bad.
And
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, so
I'm
I tell
tired
you,
of
so
that.
here's what I do, right? Because I couldn't.
It ain't that bad. Yes, it
They
is.
cutting up nuts and calling it meat, y'all.
They cutting them up, calling milk too. It's crazy. It's
crazy.
I go through phases. So I do like a week of doing a vegan, then I do a week of vegetarian, then a week of pescatarian, then I do like chicken at the last end of it, and I just keep rotating because I couldn't continue it forever because it's just not fun.
Does that work for you though? Like,
I don't. So I'm like 3 months in. It's doing
Okay.
all right. I
Gotcha.
think I'm doing okay.
For me, that's the biggest thing. It's like what self-care looks like for everyone is a little bit different. And like what's going to work for me isn't going to work for everyone here.
Right.
So it's important for you to just understand what's going to work for you and just stay consistent
That's
and
clean.
disciplined in doing that.
Looks.
You like that?
That's crisp. I like that.
I like
I'm
clean
glad- I'm
juice.
glad
That's
y'all enjoyed
that's
that.
refreshing.
I said I didn't want it, but I'm getting something now. I can't wait.
That is
I'm
refreshing.
geeked.
Thank you, darling.
Can we hear a little bit of the starter kit, man? How can I start if I'm hearing this podcast? Number one, make sure you check out the Balance Period podcast. That's a great place to start. But if you're listening right now, what is the starter kit to finding balance with my mental and my physical health?
Yeah. So the first step is expanding your awareness. We can only manage what we measure. And so if you're looking
Say that again for me real quick.
we can only manage what we measure, right? So if you're not measuring what's happening for you internally, then
Just
your
guessing.
capacity, you're not gonna have data to
That's
look
how I
to
live my
make
life.
educated decisions based on, right?
I thought I lost some weight. I thought I lost some weight. I think maybe. I look a little thinner.
Everybody, so it's not just
That's
me.
crazy.
Everybody does it, right? It's not just
No, not everybody.
the
Not
majority of us-
recovery
most
rate.
people.
Right on.
Most people, the regular person, he's not regular.
Yeah.
He is advanced.
Yeah,
He is not a regular person.
I had some salad last night.
I ate good twice this week. I'm
Green
straight.
stuff.
Yep.
So finding a measurement tool is going to work for you, right? Like I said, I use a wearable device that really helps me understand.
Can you tell us about this wearable device?
He
Yeah.
ain't getting no money from it yet.
Oh yeah,
That's yours?
No, it's not mine, but we have a strategic partnership with the company.
Well, let's
Oh,
come on,
you should've led
let's
with
talk
that.
about it,
Talk
man.
about it.
Come on, man. Can you take it off and show the people?
Yeah, for sure. So
Man,
They're
we
gonna
got
wake the big dogs
devices
up,
in
man. They're
here,
gonna get me up
man.
out the bed, man.
That's
Man,
the
we'll
recovery
vibrate
red
for you. Go
superhero,
ahead.
man.
Y'all
What
can
is
pass that
this?
that's the
down.
communicator.
It's called a Whoop.
Man, hold on.
That's the
WHOOP.
Power Rangers.
It's not
Whoop.
gonna focus on that. It's
Pull over.
It's the
Yeah.
Nah,
called a
this
Whoop.
crazy.
so it is the
He twists his arm to
best
the left, his arm
and
comes
most
out.
accurate wearable device on the market that
Okay.
helps to monitor essentially the vitals that can be monitored by a wearable device, right? So it's keeping track of your heart rate continuously, your skin temperature, your HRV, your respiratory rate. So
What's
it's
your-
keep.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Ray. You going crazy right now. You're in your bag.
Take my
What
blood
is-
pressure.
What is HRV?
It's your heart rate variability. So it's the amount of time between heartbeats. It's not the same. It's not like it's gonna be 115 milliseconds
Yeah.
from the next. So it varies, and so it tracks the variability.
Ebbs and flows.
And when you're calculating it from your deep sleep, which is what it does for you, it gives you a readiness score on like how well your body will be able to adapt to the stress that you have
need one of
throughout the
these.
day.
Oh, this is
it
nasty.
gives you
Are
that.
these colored people?
Huh? Oh yeah, no, they're not, unfortunately. But
I was
they
wrong.
are
It's
they,
okay.
They care about us.
Yeah, it's
You know
okay.
what
They're
I'm saying?
allies.
Hey.
They care about us. So
Yeah, what's the what's
yeah, so
the
it's
balance period discount code?
join.whoop.com / and then type out balance period BALANCEPERI.
Make sure I do that right now.
And you get 1 month free and the device free, and then it's a $32.99 a month charge. I normally just buy it outright for the year, which gets like a 24% discount on it. So then you just, it breaks down to less than $1 a day.
Small investment for your health.
Yeah,
To know
for
when your
something.
heart's not beating properly.
Man,
very
I'm telling
important.
you. And it's
Is there an application that goes with on your phone?
yeah, it's a
and
mobile
it'll notify
application.
you.
Yep, and you check in with it, right? So there's a journal feature in there that I literally keep track of the habits I practice on a monthly basis. It lets me know how those habits impacted my body's ability to recover from the sleep that I got. So for me, it's like a cheat code. Like if I want to improve my quality of life, I have data to help me make decisions that are going to be best for me. Right. So
Wow.
it helps with that.
We're just not trying hard enough.
No, we're not.
we're not.
And Recovery Ray is doing the work for us.
Yes.
We
I was
provide,
tired.
I
I don't know why I
provide
was tired.
solutions, man.
Tired as hell this
I didn't get
morning.
no sleep last night. Nah, that's not what it
Yeah.
was. You got plenty of sleep. You're fine. There's something else wrong. I think it's just sleep. I'm good.
Not only
I
did
ain't
Ray
bed
get his
earlier.
sleep, y'all said his buffer
Yeah.
to go along with it.
Say, bro, you slept
a little
11
buffer.
hours yesterday. It was the sleep
Yeah,
was
you
fine.
had 4 naps and you went to bed. You're
It's what
fine.
you ate
See,
yesterday.
in my sleep, it changes, right? And it can change from season to season. But a device like this allows you to be flexible. But I would say I average about 7 hours of sleep a night.
Best I
which
could
isn't
do.
that much.
That's the best I could
Nice.
do.
Yeah.
Y'all get 7 hours of sleep a night?
7's the absolute
wish.
best I could do.
wish.
I can't get
My
over
body
that.
won't sleep past 6.
I can't get over 7.
If I go to bed at 10 o'clock, I'm going to wake up at 4.
I've been in a weird phase where I've been waking up before my
Yeah,
alarm.
like for real. I will not. I cannot go to bed that early. I'm like, oh, well, I'm up now.
You nap though, right?
Just be rolled. Oh yeah, do you not?
You know, I do nap on the weekends, not during the week.
Okay.
It's so hard for me not to take an after work nap. It's
Yeah,
really the
I don't
most
get to them
difficult
way. The
thing.
kids stopped all that.
I don't know.
I have to steal a nap, but it's only gonna be 20 minutes.
Snatch that nap.
Yeah, that nap shit
What
dead.
was the computer doing?
So when I close the computer, when I get off work.
Okay.
That's what, you know what though? In my profession, when I go on break, it's all about naps.
Oh,
I
my
nap
goodness.
all day.
Naps
I
are
wake up,
fantastic.
Ray said
man.
it'll track that for
Naps
you
are
too if you wanted
fantastic.
to. It'll track that
Some
activity.
violent wrist movement for about 7 minutes.
Turns out you sleep best after that.
Yeah.
Common
And
misconception.
now they
Sometimes I still
emailing Ray. Hey, one of your
One of your new signees has a 2-minute heart rate increase.
I think he was having a seizure
For
or
bed every night. Sometimes 3 times a day.
Oh man.
oh man, yeah. don't
sometimes
put
a
it
lot.
on.
I would get 8 hours of sleep then.
All right. Back to the
Let's
interview.
move on. That was ridiculous.
It's true, though.
Notifications. Boop, 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 boop. Calm
Quick question,
down, man.
If you get the device free in the free month and you cancel after the free trial, you got to send that device back, don't you?
I mean,
They'll come and
you
get it.
can't, you can't use the device without the app, so the device kind of seems like you won't need it.
Oh,
What you gonna
okay.
do with it?
Yeah, you
That's
might as
fair.
well send it back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
They repo on them ankles. I mean, wrists around here. Yeah.
I want to talk about physical health as well. Clearly, you're fit. You can see that. No, you're working out.
I can see that.
Compared to what I got going on.
I've been checking you out a little bit. Are you still a physical trainer?
I do not. No,
Okay.
I don't do any personal training anymore.
That's what I meant.
He fixing the mind now.
Yeah, for sure. How important is that balance as well? I know it's important to work out. I know it's important to make sure that you're active. Recovery rate, what does that look like for you on a weekly basis? And how can someone get started, man? How can you offer some encouragement to get me to go back? What you got?
Yeah. So we'll start with what I'm doing right now, which I normally set like longer term goals that then influence what I'm doing now as it relates to my movement, right? And so my current long term goal is for June of this year, I'll be 30 and I'll be
Welcome to
doing
the squad.
Thank you. I want to
That's
enter
cool.
that next season by completing a 50K race, which is a little over 30 miles.
You driving?
30-mile run.
You gonna drive?
Nah,
You gonna drive?
Ain't no
running for
wheels
30
involved. Yo, biking,
No, it's
triathlon.
just
Man, where y'all getting ready from?
Just his feet.
You're gonna do what now?
I'm gonna run 30 miles.
I've heard 5K. All right, for people do 5K, that's a lot. I'm be on the bike.
Right. Where they get
50K?
you from, man?
And you're not gonna
Y'all
drive?
funny, man.
Amazon.
You can just drive, bro. Just drive. You don't have to do that to yourself. Don't do that, man.
That's
Miles
miles,
is crazy.
Ray gonna run a
a lot.
30 miles?
Yeah, I think for me,
It's like walking to Greenfield from here. Like, that's crazy.
yeah, there's actually a race that I'll probably be doing in the city, and it's running from Sheridan to
Ohio.
downtound.
Shit, it's
That's
unbelievable.
crazy.
That's
It's
crazy,
it's
man.
the entire Monon Trail.
I'm tired thinking about it.
Man, round of applause for that though. 'Cause
Yeah.
That is
that's
wow.
amazing.
Even if you don't do it, you thought about
yeah,
it.
no,
It's
that's
better than me.
amazing.
Could you imagine being 15K in and be like, I am so tired of this shit. I'm stopping. There's no way.
Tired ain't the word.
What you do in high school, Ray? Were you an athlete? Did you?
Play basketball,
Okay.
but I wasn't that great. Like I was like a leader, which was weird, right? I would be like the captain of the
That's
team, but
important.
wouldn't
Oh,
start.
that's
you know?
important. That's
You know,
important.
You were late
one of
career,
those.
Richard
Hey,
Jefferson.
I gotta. Hey,
You know what you did? You made practice go.
Yeah,
sure.
that's right.
That's
I was
important.
effective in
On the
practice.
line, y'all
Yeah.
heard coach.
I was effective in
Yeah,
practice.
and then when
I
they
gotta-
respect you, you hear what he said. Yes, you heard what he said. Get your
I got a mental attitude award senior year.
Love that for
That's
you.
all I did
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So I played sports.
Those superstars suck at practice. I heard Allen Iverson. Those guys don't want to practice, man.
That was it, man.
But yeah, so didn't do much. But then started really working out in college. So that's
Okay.
when I started to take it a little more seriously. When I decided to be a personal trainer, I was like, I got to look the part. So I
You
need
do.
to start to.
No one wants a fat
make
trainer.
some
Sure they do. They'll take one.
Wow, man.
I'll make you a poster tomorrow with how many calls you get.
Yeah. Pulling up.
I'm too far gone. You got to get somebody look. Yeah, I'm too far gone.
I'm gonna make that.
Never
Yeah,
left.
that's too
Never
far
far
gone.
gone.
Okay. Let's we here now. Can you just walk us through how you preparing for this 30K? What does that look like for you? You know, making
Go
sure
to the
your
gas
body's
station first
right.
thing you better do. 'Cause
Yeah, my current routine is running 3 times a week.
Okay.
And so it varies. I think I normally will do like a 30 to 45 minute run, about an hour run, which is one I'll do today when I leave here.
Okay.
And then I'll run around like 2 hours. So I'll kind of like do that and just kind of build up, my conditioning.
Wow.
But the thing is,
Ray's
it's not
gonna finish this
it's not the running.
Go outside and run away.
Running sometimes isn't the most challenging part. Sometimes like you
Yeah.
don't have the right equipment to where you can run
yeah, a
effectively.
car. Like
Yeah.
So I had to. So
2
I had to go through
hours.
Yeah, right. When you
The-
said
the
that, I was
race
going to
is
stop you,
gonna
but I was like, I'm keep going.
2 hours.
Cause that's
the race.
crazy.
The race is gonna be like 6 hour race. Like I'm gonna be running for 6 hours straight.
Yes, you got to practice.
So yeah, I mean you got to like build it up.
They never
So-
caught you.
Darla's cracking up. If I leave right now, and I'll be in Cincinnati in 2 hours. Cincinnati, I'll be in another state. He's gonna run that today.
He is.
You're special.
Imagine running.
I'll tell you,
to
if
your
it's amazing when we
Papa
started.
tell
This
you,
is crazy.
and bringing it back home, and running and got it. All right, I'll see you. I'll be back in
It's
2 hours,
unbelievable,
man.
man. You're a willpower, and
It's
that's-
crazy, right?
Yeah, that's
Unbelievable,
amazing.
man.
That's like
I'm a quitter. I quit.
And to bring
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I
and
quit.
to bring it back, you talk about goal setting. So
Yeah.
when you get into the physical aspect of your health, making sure you set some goals.
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
Setting some goals.
Got you.
But then starting where you are and like honoring where you are, right? Because to set a goal that's unrealistic for yourself is only going to put you in a position to not be consistent,
break you.
right?
Yep,
for sure.
So what I would recommend anyone is like start with where you are. Take a look, take an inventory of your day. We talked about before awareness, right? We have an exercise. If you go to balanceperiod.com, there's a free guide. It's our energy management guide. And there's an exercise in there that breaks down like your time, and it helps you understand how you're spending your 24 hours. So when you understand that, now you can start to make these data-driven decisions about adjustments you can make. So if you're already noticing that you're moving, it's like, well, can I increase my movement by like 5 minutes with what I'm already doing, right? Can I take a stair rather than taking an elevator, right? Like, where can you start to make some adjustments and just increase your movement just a little bit? Do that regularly, and you will see changes. That will then just be a snowball effect for then you saying, well, I mean, now I can incorporate a 15-minute at-home workout into this routine. Oh, now I can go to the gym for 30 minutes. You know, now you just build upon the momentum based on the little habits that you start to incorporate.
Can you talk to the importance of documentation? So I got in the gym heavy before my wedding. That was the last time I was like in that mug. I was doing things I had never done before.
Push-ups.
For sure. I mean, I only push-ups.
That's good, though.
It was big moment for me. I was very proud of myself. But, you know, when I was going to the gym, you saw other people that went to the gym, they had, like, notebooks. And they're, like, writing down facts about what they got going on. I just want you to talk about the importance of documentation because what you're mentioning sounds great. Like, I'm like, dang, okay, I can definitely add about 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But if you lose track, then
it's not. You can't prove you did it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I wear a Whoop, right? Because I'm tracking all of my activity.
Remind me of Insecure. It's how you saying Woot. Woot, woot.
But yeah, so that's why I wear that because it helps me to do it without me having to think about it.
Okay.
But I would recommend if you're narrowing in on an area where you're trying to increase your activity, just keep it on the notes in your phone. One of the things I did last year, I wanted to show people that there was like you can go as little as 5 minutes a day and create results. I was like, I'm gonna do 5 minutes. Yeah, well, the activity itself isn't the most fun, but you'll definitely notice. Okay,
why leave me alone?
Burpees.
Do burpees for 5 minutes every day and track how many you get in those 5 minutes, so you're counting. And so now it kind of becomes, okay, I know I'm going to be moving for 5 minutes anyway, and now I get to see what I did yesterday and the day before and the day before. Oh, now I have a week's worth of data.
You get to compete with yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, you're competing with yourself, and you're learning more about your body because some days you'll wake up and you won't be able to do the amount that you did the day before, but you're learning yourself along this journey. So you're not only promoting your well-being, but you're also learning, which it'll become a compound effect to what you're now able to do as it relates to caring for yourself.
I do that with pull-ups. That's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what's up. So I can go to balanceperiod.com right now and get a guide. So I think it's important to mention this. Get a guide about how to start my journey. My generational wellness journey.
Exactly. And it's with energy management, which is aligning your mindset, your motivation, and the habits you practice with your values and your goals. And so that exercise is what will kickstart that journey of you understanding that.
Got you. How has this impacted your family? As you doing your best to create generational wellness, what's been the direct impact you've seen in those you care about?
Because you're working upward for now. You don't have any kids just yet, right?
Not yet. Yeah. And that is what's influencing the decisions that I'm making. I see an opportunity to create an environment for when my kid gets here. Not only do they get high quality DNA passed down based on what I'm providing at that time, but also now they have someone that's modeling these behaviors of what they can do to care for themselves mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, like all of these things.
I gotta get my game together.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, did I pass good DNA down to my family? I don't know what I passed.
Sidebar though,
I don't know what
I want to say this because I think it's important.
I do.
I'm just like, did they get some of my brother stuff too? I got in-shape brothers. Like, the genes is all
I don't know how
family oriented, right? Like I gotta get some of that shit. I'm serious. I'm like, what they get?
Oh man,
the camera caught that. We saw how called DNA research.
High quality DNA. I don't know. Please.
He said, "Damn, it does work that way, don't it?"
I'm sorry, my bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is a really good interview. I got some more questions.
Eye-opening, man.
It's okay. I want to mention this though, right? Because not everyone's going to be in the position that I'm in to be proactive about this before they have kids.
Right.
I think for the people that have kids right now, though, and as it relates to our community, the value that it can add for them to start to make these adjustments and changes, and then to model that, hey, regardless of where you are right now, you can improve your quality of life based on what you believe about yourself and the habits that you choose to practice. I think that can be more impactful than even me passing down high quality DNA.
I like to keep
Because
saying
you're
it.
showing them.
He's letting you know. He said high quality.
That's you want to compare yours.
Immediately.
It's like, am I about to run 30 miles?
You're not.
But I think what you're saying is true though, because you're gonna have the argument. You have a different battle. Your kids gonna be like, "Well, Dad, you were always fit. Shut up."
Exactly.
But if it's if you see somebody go from something to something else, you kind of can,
And
feel
that'll
different
be
about
the
it.
same process that you teach them through you doing it is what they're going to be up against in life all the time.
Yeah.
And especially being black in this country too. There always going to be opportunities for them to look at where they are and say, I can be intentional. I can create what it is that I want to see for me and my family, right? And I think that's powerful.
That's real. Can we get into the logo for the balance period?
Yeah.
Where's the logo come from? Why'd you go with that emblem there?
So the logo is 2 lions. One is roaring and the other one is calm. And it's in the sign of like a yin yang sign. The one that's a little bit darker is the one that's calm. The one that's roaring is the one that's white. And it originated from just the concept that I remember seeing back when I was in college. I think it was a piece of clothing that had like, it was 2, I think like Pumas or something on it. One was roaring, one was calm. And I'm like, yo, that's a cool concept. And then from my company, I was like, well, I realized that, it's all about balance. And
you know what you made me realize? I say that all the time. I'm a fraud. I said, less about balance. I'm not really balanced like this nigga. It's different. It's layers to balancement.
He walking across the tightrope.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm
It's
mildly
different.
balanced.
Good.
It's different.
With the
Indeed.
balance.
He actually can tell you, lets you know it's balanced in the morning.
Exactly.
Real quick, you're gonna run 2 hours today.
about an hour.
What is your after day like? If I ran 2 hours, I'd be close to death.
Sleep.
But yeah, what do you do? How do you have quality of day? What's your day? What do you do after
at
that?
this
runners
point,
like probably feel good
I'm
then.
conditioned, so that won't be like, it won't be
It's
something that.
it's like you ran 20 minutes. That's crazy. If I ran 2 hours today, I'd be at work by Thursday. I'm back, y'all. What happened? I ran 2 hours, man.
Ran 2 hours on Sunday.
Yeah,
to a robot
been
on
down
Sunday.
ever since. My legs don't work. My feet hurt. I'm good though. I'm back. That's crazy.
Question, right? As we talk about generational wellness, okay, now how are we connecting this to business? Are you collaborating with different companies around the city of Indianapolis? Are you leading workshops? What does that look like?
Yeah. So what has it looked like for us so far? It started out with providing our content essentially and our services to the education system. As an organization, right, before we kind of made this shift last year, our focus was on illuminating the way for our next generation to live happy, healthy, wholehearted lives. And we wanted to impact the people that had a direct connection to our next generation, which were educators. So we went in and we took a group of them through our coaching program, which is the Balance Blueprint, and essentially we're helping them improve their quality of life so they could, more effectively educate our next generation. That has grown over the last few years. So we have now taken that same concept in keynote form, where we're kind of just like a speaker series, or like workshops, where we're sitting and doing workshops, or like professional development. That's a term that's used in in those spaces. So that's where we go in and we facilitate conversations around wellness, around the different topics of where the group itself is, so that they can take action after leaving that time with us to promote their health and longevity. And so currently, it's been facilitating in-person conversations, but it's growing to now us licensing our content out for other organizations to be able to provide it for, their communities.
Are you willing to give like a little micro keynote and run down these 7 steps to the blueprint?
Yeah, we can do that real quick. So at its core, the Balance Blueprint is an emotional literacy program. And what it then does is kind of guides you into the actionable decisions that you can begin to make about making tweaks and adjustments to your habits. But it starts off, the B in balance stands for belief. And the focus for that step is self-efficacy, which is the belief we have in our ability to succeed. And I think before we start on this journey of creating generational wellness, it's important for us to believe that we can do it, right? Because we might look at our current circumstances and it might not look like we can.
Right.
So our belief has to lead the way on this one, right? So that's where we start, self-efficacy. Then the A in balance stands for awareness, which we talked about before is so important. And so the focus for that step is self-acceptance. Because as you begin to expand your awareness of where you currently are, of, you know, your current baseline, your current circumstances, you're naturally going to find some things that you probably don't like. Right. You're going to see some ways that you know you can improve, right? Improve upon. A lot of times we're critical of ourselves.
Very.
But self-acceptance is the prerequisite for behavior change. So if we want to start to see shifts, we're going to have to accept ourselves for where we are wholeheartedly in this moment. So then we can move on to the third step, which is love. That's what the L in balance stands for. And the focus is self-compassion. So now that we've accepted ourselves, we get to choose how we respond to what it is that we're noticing. And self-compassion is powerful, right? Because we've been conditioned, especially as black men, black people in this country, to be critical of ourselves, to not love ourselves. And that then
give yourself a break, man.
Exactly. And that perpetuates the bad habits that we practice. So if we're able to shift that to being more loving and kind and compassionate, now we're free to make those adjustments to our day, which leads us to the fourth step, which is accountability, right? Us taking accountability for our quality of life.
That's a tough one.
By practicing what we're focusing on, which is self-care for that step, right? So self-care, we really just do a rundown of how you can go about effectively caring for yourself. If you're getting high quality sleep, if you're mindfully moving your body and you have a mindfulness practice of some kind, starting there would be a fantastic way to begin to care for yourself, right, in an effective way. But then we go to the fifth step, which is no. It's the N in balance. It stands for no with a period after it. That's intentional, because it's important for us to know that it's okay to say no, especially in moments to prioritize time for self-care. We tend to say yes to everyone because we want to be everything for everyone. And that just leaves us feeling drained. And then we continue on that cycle that is not in alignment with generational wellness, right? So the focus for that step is boundaries. So understanding how to go about setting boundaries in your life to protect the activities that you have already identified will help you create, you know, generational wellness and care for yourself. And then that leads us to the sixth step, which is the C in balance for consistency. And the focus
This is
for
all
that
making sense.
Yeah, the focus for that step is self-discipline. Because for all of what you've learned from believing in your ability to succeed, accepting yourself, being compassionate, if you don't do those things consistently, you won't see shifts and changes in your quality of life. So you got to be consistent. And naturally making behavior changes, you're going to be tempted to do what you did before making the change. So it's important for you to be self-disciplined. So we talk about how to go about cultivating that. And then finally, the E in balance stands for enjoy, because we believe that life is meant to be enjoyed. And the focus for that step is gratitude, right? So for you to be continually bringing your attention and awareness back to what you're grateful for in this moment, because gratitude makes what we have enough. So even though we know we're not where we want to be, we can be content and grateful for where we are in this moment, for what we do have, which in my opinion, and I know this just comes from personal experience, I'm alive, right? So I'm just grateful to be here and be alive. And we all have the ability to access something like that for ourselves, but a lot of times we miss out on opportunities to focus on it. So that's why we finish off the blueprint with that, being grateful.
Wow. Round of applause for coming great, man.
Spit that info out.
Oh, yeah,
easily,
That
too.
was crazy.
People knew that.
Yeah. People need to hear that every day, actually.
Man.
That was beautiful, man. Man, I'll be remiss if I did not mention the side hustle economy. How has that impacted a balanced period? Can you speak to that, that collective of small side hustlers? Excuse me.
Yeah, so I have the pleasure of being not only a part of the community, but also get to contribute to the community. So last year we had an opportunity to run a group of entrepreneurs through the Balance Blueprint. And so y'all said like, oh, he rattled that off. I mean, opportunities like that gives me the space to get better and better at articulating.
Was my wife one of them?
Do. She was not.
She better not have been, because she ain't tell me none of that stuff. I'm about to be hot.
She's moving right along.
Yeah, she balanced herself and then tell me no, I'm gonna be hot. Okay,
yes,
cool.
But
She wasn't one of them.
She's a part of the mastermind though, so that's just an extension of that community to where we meet weekly to just connect and to learn about ways that we can do a better job of building our brand, business, or community, which is just huge. Because this journey, sometimes you feel alone when you're out here doing this, but we're not alone, and having a community where we can come together and learn from each other to build our brand, businesses, and communities is huge. So it's contributed a lot, because it's allowed me to not only learn but also learn from action and learn from helping other people, which that's where my passion lies anyway. So it's been definitely vital to the growth that we've experienced over the last couple of years.
Shout out to Murdoch, man.
Shout out to Murdoch.
For sure. Last question, man. What's the pinnacle of success look like for you? recovery rate. When it's all said and done, you pass down generational wellness to your grandkids.
Exceptional DNA.
For sure. Through high quality DNA.
High quality DNA.
For sure.
That
Premium.
sounded good too, though.
Premium.
Yeah.
And now your grandkids like now they running 30 miles.
Yeah, I just got off the 50K, granddad.
Nah, man, you got to. You want to be
I
part
beat
of the
your
recovery.
time.
Listen,
Your best time ain't nothing no
our
more.
great grandfather ran 30. Like they gonna be talking about that. Like,
It'll get to one
so
people,
you
no, he
gotta
didn't.
do it too. We
Yeah, he
all
did,
gotta
bro.
do it. But what does that look like for you, man?
Yeah. So in this phase of my life, when I'm looking to create, well, it's the first to lead by example as I create generational wellness, financial freedom, and time affluence for this generation, last
Time
generation, and at
affluence.
least the next 2 generations of my family, right? So that's what I'm working towards. But when that's all said and done, for me, it's just being able to appreciate life.
Right.
And like with where I'm at, am I able to be grateful and to be able to sit in that moment and acknowledge that, yeah, there may be things that aren't going well, or yeah, there may be things that are fantastic, but like I'm here and I'm grateful that I'm here. And, you know, I feel like just focusing on that, you know, all the impact and everything else that will come is just a part of, you know, it comes with the territory of me focusing on keeping a high quality of life for myself and just truly appreciating where I'm at.
Wow.
Round of applause, Recovery Ray, man. This was phenomenal, man. Shout out to Balance Period. Make sure y'all check in. Where can everybody find you again? Where can everybody find your platform?
Yeah, so balanceperiod.com. You can access pretty much everything from there. But if you're on Instagram, at balanceperiod. And then for me personally, at recovery.ray on Instagram.
Let's move on, man.
A lot of self-reflecting for us.
Man,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Looking at my DNA differently.
Watching football games, just like not even looking at
Throwing
it.
shade at it. Looking at my grandpa. No, I'm
Run that 2
looking at
hours.
everybody.
If it was
differently,
about
man.
gas, my DNA is definitely the middle button. It's not ain't that premium
It's-
over there.
nah, it ain't unleaded. You know
I'm
what I'm saying? It's plus.
Nah,
Yeah, I'm plus.
I'm unleaded.
You're kerosene.
I'm lawnmower gas.
E85, my God, that's terrible.
I got some work
Oh,
to
man. Let's move on, man.
He dealing with coal over there.
do. Yeah.
Oh, grade A diesel.
Got that Fred Flintstone with the gas.